I'm joined here today with Sean Bertram, a Canadian artist who has announced the release of his own sophomore self-titled album coming out on September 17th. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So you're known as the Canadian John Mayer. How do you think you've gotten that nickname?
I've always kind of got it where people think I sound like John Mayer, and it makes sense because I got into songwriting because of him. One of the first albums that made me really think hard about songwriting and guitar playing even was Room for Squares. And I still listen to it on repeat. So I think it's just kind of seeped into my playing a bit and people notice that. So I'm happy with it. I think it's pretty cool.
What can your fans expect with this new album coming out soon?
A lot of things. I'm super excited about it because I think it's the most unique expression of like me as a person. Because I've released a bunch of stuff before, but it's all been kind of like, I think just outside of what I've been shooting for. And this is, it's got like a lot of really fun influences in it. It's got like my John Mayer influence, obviously, some Prince in there, some Donovan Woods, some Gordy Sampson, it kind of ranges everywhere from like rock to neo soul to R&B to folk. So it's kind of all encompassing that way.
Is there something you would say is different with this album compared to your previous work?
Yeah. I think I think a lot of things. I feel like it's a little more sophisticated, and it's a little more me because I had a bigger hand in creating it. Because with this one, I produced most of it myself. I played most of the instruments myself, and I mixed it all myself. So I was able to have like almost complete control over it, which was kind of cool and kind of scary all at the same time.
And what inspired you for this album, would you say?
I don't know, life. Is that a weird thing to say? A lot of things. A lot of relationships I've had, or relationships I've missed or wanted to have. It's kind of about human interaction and personal experience and personal growth.
And from support you've seen from your fans with your previous work, would you expect to see that same support for this album coming out?
I hope so. Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying they're really excited for it. So I'm just excited for people to hear it, and people to share it, and people to connect with it.
Were there any obstacles or issues that you'd like to say that you struggled through when creating this album, especially through COVID-19?
Oh, yeah, because I kind of made it more or less by myself in the past year and a half in my room and during the pandemic. It's very isolating. And I think everybody's been going through that, of course, this past year or so. And it was a lot of me. There's a lot of doubt going on throughout it because it was the first time I've mixed a project of this size myself, and did a bunch of engineering and producing that way. There's a lot of times where I didn't know what I was doing, or I was scared of what people would think about it. So there's a lot of ups and downs that way, just thinking about how it would turn out. But it was really exciting and really empowering to kind of overcome that and get it to a point where I was really happy with it and just really excited to share it.
And is there a message you're hoping that your fans get out of this album after they listen to this?
I think just be yourself and don't be afraid to make mistakes. And, life's going to happen and it's going to hit you sometimes, but, just keep getting back up.
Now, for people who may be unaware, where can they all access this new album coming out?
Oh, yeah. So I guess you can pre-order it on iTunes right now. If you go to any of my socials, you'll be able to pre-save it on Spotify. And there are 2 singles off of it that are out right now, Angeline and Santa Barbara Pier. And that's out on everywhere you can download and stream music, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, whatever people listen to these days.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Sean.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Shelby.